is day 16. Volunteers, please. Can somebody?
I'm one. So
are you
for
able
me,
to put on your screen?
okay, no, not now.
Okay, not a problem. Yeah,
all right. So for me, this journey has been amazing, right? Because I've actually seen a very huge change in my life. Because I would actually start from my wake up time. I'm not someone that loves to wake up on time. So starting with that, I've actually started seeing myself, discipline myself to, at least start with waking up on time and watching a whole lot of stuff I do, and being committed to reaching the goals that I've actually set for myself. Right. So it's actually been a very huge impact in my life, like 360. And this journey, like it's really been a very great one. And I'm really thankful to you, Mr. Taiwo, and every other person that's taken us through time. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So Billy, you want to say something? Who else wants to say something? Ruru, Shegun, great to have you here. You want to say something? How's the journey been for you? What have you been doing differently?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Mr. Tayo. Good evening, everyone. My name is Bilkisu. Okay.
Okay. I'm sure Billy, she's having challenges with her network. It would be nice. So, Shagun, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's been awesome for me. Interestingly, I've been able to convince my wife to join in.
Whoa.
By the background. So we've been sharing even after the calls. We will just stay back and talk to ourselves and share more with ourselves. So it's been very helpful for us starting a new family and starting very right. It's wonderful. So thank you, sir.
Awesome. All right, so 2 more persons to share their thoughts, and then we'll be firing up. All right. Volunteers.
Good evening, Mr. Tayo. It's Bilkisu again.
Okay, Bilkisu. Tell us, how has it been? Tell us the experience.
Okay, the journey for me has been very, very crazy and intentional. I've learned how to be more intentional about doing things, more intentional about my everyday work, with God, my business, everything. Like for a while, for almost 2 months now, I haven't driven my car because the car has been bad. So I parked it and I started taking cabs and walking and all. But today, when we were writing, I commit to, so I told myself I commit to fix this car.
Okay.
Because every day I go out and I see it in that state and I'm very, very upset. So I said, I commit to, do this about this car today. I quit. So I'm very proud of myself, and I'm grateful for the opportunity and for that fire you've put in us, telling us we have to commit to. See, it's my responsibility. So I took it upon myself today, and thank you for that. I'm grateful.
Great. And I wish you saw the video. I had to share, and I'll share it at some point in this video, just so that you also see that there should be no limit to what you can take hold on, all right? And life would only answer to those that would move. And I started off this morning with so much gusto, only for me to start to approach one of the meetings I needed to get to, and it's just started to rain. Now imagine Lagos, hell was let loose. And I defied the odds, I didn't even care. And I mounted a bike, in the heart of, you don't want to go there. You don't want to even go there. Another volunteer, let's have 2 more people say something about how this journey has been. And I have our guest here, Venetia, amazing personality, wonderful lady. She's just going to be sharing how Reinvention. So on
Good
mute,
evening.
Tell us where you're logging in from, or it did say.
From Botswana.
Awesome.
Yes, I must say this has been very amazing. And I've seen so much transformation in myself. I've
Great.
got a lot of peace, internal peace, and I am very, very much committed on doing all that I said I will be doing. I had a very tight schedule of writing exams, but I couldn't just miss any of the sessions because I was so glued into the sessions. And I must say, I must thank myself for the discipline that I said, you know what, after exams, I'll go back and watch the videos. In the mornings, no matter how much the schedule is, I'm going to listen and attend to the sessions. So I must say, I'm so thankful, Mr. Taiwa, for meeting you. I'm grateful for your life. You are indeed a life savior. There's so much transformation in myself. I'm sharing with a few friends. And this morning, one of the friends just sent me a message to say, you know what, you don't know, and you don't understand the impact that you are doing in my life with all these things that you are sharing with me. So I must say, I am so thankful for this journey. I'll continue. I wish we couldn't stop at day 21 because hey, I feel we can just go ahead and ahead. But thank you so much.
Wow, that's just so, that's like music to my soul, music to my soul. So one more person and then we'll just get on, I guess it's ready. One more person, your experience, one more person, your experience, how has it been? We have people in the house now. Can somebody just share one more person? Or do I call you out? What has the experience been like? Okay. Yeah, Kelegole, can you unmute? You can unmute. Kelegole, yes, you can unmute now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, awesome, great. Kelebogile from Botswana as well.
Great.
And yeah, the journey has been incredible. It has been awesome, amazing. For me, I've moved from a point A, and currently I believe that I'm at a point Q. I'm getting there. Yeah, I've moved from A and I believe that I'm at a Q because I'm one person who used to procrastinate a lot. You know, when I have ideas, I'll just, have them in my mind and not do. But from this reinvention, I've now set myself targets. I've set myself timelines. And I'm definitely going forward. I want to believe that by the time we finish with this boot camp, I will be now getting to Z. And yeah, it's been incredible, especially the people who've been coming to teach us. I mean, from day one up till now, I'm always looking forward to getting rejuvenated and getting all that energy, the positive energy. And like already said, the peace. Oh gosh, the peace. And you feel it. You feel it going down your spine and your muscles and your veins. It's incredible.
Hey, can you unmute, please? Or can you mute and not disrupt the class? All right, great. So, guys, we have our guest. She's here. You can see her. And just so that I don't take you all on that journey, she will just tell us who she is. It's always good to hear from, such an amazing personality describe herself in her own words. So, Benisha, can you unmute and let's go on with this journey? I'll tell you a bit about her. She's an amazing person. Beyond being amazing, she's playing in the digital social space, giving people visibility around the areas of wellness. All right. Our focus currently right now is on wellness, but she's also extending that with a set plan that over the next 2 years, she's going to be moving her business, and the business will now be 7 years old, but that business would have been touching real estate, the political segment down in South Africa. But beyond that, she has a plethora of clients spread across Europe, all right, and a bit in Africa. And we're hoping that somehow she's able to share her reinvention story vulnerably, visibly, and without any, openly, just to ensure that we all can take the full benefit. So, Venetia, tell us, who are you?
Hi, everyone. Greetings from South Africa. I'm really so happy and thrilled to be invited by Taiwo and just to be present. So as he introduced, my name is Venetia. I'm from South Africa, and I own a digital marketing and social media management agency that is based here. It's called Reef today, and I've been active in the industry for just over 3 years now. We just celebrated our 3rd birthday in April. And apart from that, I have been working. I just actually started working with a very innovative and young entrepreneurial magazine called But the great thing about the social media management and digital marketing sector that I'm working in is that we get to service clients from Switzerland, Luxembourg. Can you hear me? Is it clear?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great. Yeah, so from Luxembourg, and mainly most of our clients come from the United States of America. So yeah, like I said, I'm really glad to be here. And thank you so much for the warm welcome. We've had a really great run so far in South Africa. Just a little bit background about what social media marketing and management is. It's basically just using so that's basically the space that I'm currently in. And I've had an extensive career working both in the full-time 9-to-5 environment, and then I've also had experience with starting my own business. And I've also done extensive research and studies in the legal sector. So that's just a little bit about me. And I have lots more to share. I think you are on mute.
Awesome. Great. I love the perspective you brought, proud discussions even before now. I would like to ask you, okay, can you share with us what reinvention means to you? Just let us even know, are we in the right room, what reinvention means to you?
Yeah. So, reinvent themselves, because as human beings, we're always getting better. We should be getting better in the different industries that we're in our lifestyles, and just in general. So reinvention really means to me to just be progressive, to be progressing and productive, and to obviously start afresh, become something that is completely new, a new version of yourself that is a better one than what you used to be.
I hear you. It's an ongoing journey, and so it's almost like being a better you over time, over a quarter,
That's right.
over a season. So so tell me, how have you reinvented? How have you experienced reinvention? And any of the stories that probably also you want to share as to how you've been reinvented at several sectors. Okay.
So I think a major point of reinvention was in my personal life was just before I actually started my first business, and before I actually started landing clients overseas or in Europe. I had actually worked a full-time 9-to-5 job. I was working from Mondays to Sundays, literally, from 4 a.m. in the morning till possibly 5 p.m. in the afternoon. And I was working nonstop, literally, with no breaks, not a good, healthy regimen. I had just literally dedicated my life to a 9-to-5 job. I had a boss that I was reporting to. We were stuck in a small office. It was just me. We had no employee interaction, which is crazy. It was isolation even during that This was the work environment that I was working in. And although I really loved what I did at that stage, it started to take a toll on my health, because number one, you're sitting down the whole day. You're not getting enough oxygen because you're stuck in a small room. So it wasn't a great condition. And I think at that point, I actually got so sick to the point that I actually couldn't walk anymore. I had to actually be in a wheelchair for over maybe 1 or 2 years. I was in and out of hospital. I had to have multiple surgeries done. Doctors couldn't find what the issue was. But the main thing was that I was not healthy on the inside. And although they didn't know what the problem was, I was just in not a great state physically, to the point that I couldn't live well. And so at that point, in between coming in and out of, hospital and dealing with these medical issues, there came a point where I started seeing some progression in my health after being on antibiotics, but it came to a point where I realized there's no way that I can live on this being so young. I had to do something. I had to change something because something was imbalanced. And it's crazy to think, but a few months after I resigned, I took that time to actually invest in going and really investing in my whole physical wellness. And that is when I came across a doctor, which helped me progress into another level, and I never had the issue again. So I resigned from my full-time job, and now I was left in a place of trying to figure out, what do I do now? And during that in a full-time job, and now being unemployed and now having to find piece jobs, was really a time of reinvention for myself. It was a time for me to become a completely new person, away from sickness, away from being emotionally bogged down by everything that I was facing at that point as well. And just becoming a new, healthier version of myself. That was my biggest point of reinvention. And it was also the time that I started my company, Reeve Today.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get this, and I've heard people share this kind of stories as to they are stuck in a seat, all right, sitting all day long, and then they develop such things that restrict them from moving. Okay,
Right.
I think one of the speakers on recently, I think it was we call him Prof. Jimmy Teo, also had a similar experience during the COVID experience, still during early stages of COVID-19 pandemic, and he was stuck because he sat down for too long. Okay, and I hope we're all listening. Okay, so occasionally, and thank God, one of the things we started to talk around, and even just about now, I've started what you call the losing your 10 kg challenge, which starts on the 20th. So I hope you also get to join us, and everyone should join it. I'm sure team members should share the link. It's going to be really interesting. It's about committing to doing, and I think this is really, really something we must do, taking care of our health. So you met a therapist or a doctor of some sort. Do you want to share what kind of insights? Okay, just how then did you, because you were taking antibiotics, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I have people that I'm close to that they still take antibiotics. And I try to convince them, hey, this is detrimental to your health. I have people that take analgesic. Okay, the other day I tried to take one of the pain relievers, and my brain was numb. I couldn't even participate in the class. So tell me, what were you exposed to with the insights you got from this doctor or therapist you met?
So the incredible thing was that these antibiotics that I was taking, that was prescribed, and just to add, I had seen over 6 to 7, possibly even 10 different doctors before I had actually found the one that helped me. So the first doctor that I kept going to, he was the one that kept prescribing me with antibiotics. And what all he was doing was solving a temporary problem that was going to come back again. He wasn't getting to the root of the problem. And that is exactly what antibiotics does. It can help you temporarily, but it's not going to change things. It might help. Personally, it was just a solution to a problem that was only going to be like, it was only a temporarily solution. And it was only until I found the surgeon, the last surgeon, is when he told me that, you know, there was actually a specific surgery that no antibiotics was going to help with, that needed to be done, where he had to actually do some physical surgery. And once he did that, I never had the issue again. So it was a matter of also just finding the right people, because sometimes you can go to multiple different experts, but they're not going to know what the actual problem is. And that is why through this whole process, I wanted to find the people that I could promote and market, even with my company, that were actually providing services and products that promoted wellness, because it played a big part in my search for it. Because I couldn't find it at that point, and I had to go through multiple doctors before I actually found what was needed. It was the biggest reason why I decided that the main foundation of my company was, the slogan is live well, was to promote living well, you know. And wellness is not just, it's not just, you know, physical health, it's mental health, emotional health, spiritual health. It's having a healthy perspective on all these different types of things in your life. That's all around wellness. And that's exactly what we promote as well.
All round wellness. Now, sorry, I'm prying into this. I just wanted to know, with a matter of specificity, what were those things, you know, in terms of prescription that you had to do, you know, because we are learning, you know, and coincidentally also,
so in terms of prescription, I was taking at least 2 antibiotics a day every 2 months for a month. So for a month, I was taking like 2 antibiotics a day for 2 weeks. And then the problem would go away, and then it will come back the next month. So as you can imagine, this was going on every single month. So you have medical bills that are very high. You have all of these different types of things. And in terms of the actual problem, the problem was that due to a lack of, just like the crazy thing is sitting down, being inactive, it plays such a role on your mind that it actually can send a signal to your body, you know, kind of immobilizing that area, that you no longer can do certain things, which is why people are always promoting the fact that you need all of these things, like waking up early, making sure that you're active. At least getting 30 minutes of exercise into your day is going to improve your mindset, and also help in the long run, even when it comes to things like amnesia, like losing your memory. It's always about keeping the mind active so that you can have a clearer brain, and the body active so that you can have a fit body.
Well, so, you know, I hear you. You talked on a very sensitive spot. I'll go to that. So you met this doctor, and then they started to prescribe what? Were those things that you started to now do, to the point where your body self-cured itself, and then you now started to live an extraordinary life?
That's right. But you know, the thing that I actually needed to do was a literal mindset change, because once I had resigned from my job, my stress levels dropped. And because I was no longer experiencing that stress, and I had the room to now grow and explore something that actually made me happy again, you know, I was able to now heal my body because my body was not experiencing that level of stress anymore. It was now able to flourish.
Wow. Okay. So, and for those that are listening, and this is very instructive. So, you could be somewhere, and this is because she's able to only identify a physical symptom, all right, a manifestation in the physical, dimension where she was incapacitated and she had to constantly be in a wheelchair. But can you imagine, and that's just one level. We talked about several dimensions. So it's possible that your mind, okay, is clustered to the point where it starts to secrete hormones or some kind of negative energy or vibes. I'm not a physician or a therapist, but at that point, you trigger the wrong emotions, okay? So you start to have stress along the emotional lines. You start to have even financial stress, because once your brain is not put to work, it ultimately now means that you are not functioning at full capacity. So moving slightly, you talked about, so coincidentally, and my wife can bear me witness, yesterday, we started to talk around a very sensitive topic when a friend of ours visited, and she said something about her mom had, I think, one of this brain disease. And I remember vividly. Coincidentally, I even have her, she's joining us now. And coincidentally, I started to share the experience of my own mom, how she, at the last stage of her life, she had dementia. For a lot of people, they didn't know what that was. And considering the part of the world that we're in, they will ascribe it to whether she was being jinxed, or whether it was a curse, or whether because she was too much of a disciplinarian. Because then they used to call her Margaret Thatcher. She rose up to the pinnacle of her career. And so people would ascribe certain things and say, maybe she offended someone. When people cannot explain things, they begin to come up with all kinds of imagination as to what could be wrong with the individual. But it was just simple mental illness, and that could have been cured. Okay, so you've talked about this, and we're saying that we can be incapacitated. So yours was with your lumbar, right? And then you couldn't walk. Now I can imagine if that happened to your brain, maybe you will still not have been able to think through as to finding a solution. Whoa. So you got your life back, you got finally, literally you just got your life back. You didn't go for any deliverance class. You didn't go for any, it was just you, it was you healing. Okay. So now, in terms of wellness, so what methods have you been deploying, or are you currently sustaining? Because I also have somebody on this call that constantly has pains. So what would be I know you're not a physician or so, but what would also be your own advice, as to how to help reduce pain, because you probably had encountered a lot of pain back then. So tell us.
Yeah. I really think it's mostly about the things that you put in your body, and lots of people will say this. Sometimes it really depends on what type of pain you're feeling. And obviously, I'm not a doctor or a certified physician, but the one thing that I do know is that keeping your body and your mind active, your mind when it comes to reading, doing brain, doing low impact exercises like going into a pool, because this is one thing that's very important that I did, because I couldn't obviously move at that stage. I did lots of low impact exercises, and to start somewhere, that would just look like doing basic exercises in a pool, or just doing some light stretches. Those are some things that you can get started with, and then slowly, progressively move on to bigger things, and things like running, or things like going for a jog every morning, which is something that I love doing. I try and do a bit of exercise every morning, and even also if I can get a run in the morning, and I'll do that. But those are two things: a light jog, something that gets your mind awake, gets your body awake, And apart from that, I know that one thing that many people also suggest is having a cold shower in the morning. Instead of having a warm one, it's better for the day ahead. It gets your mind prepared and your mind sharp as well. So I think that the best thing, especially when it comes to pains, is low impact exercises. But in terms of all-round wellness, there's definitely things that obviously have to be done. And
Okay. Okay. So it would be nice if you have your questions. I'm sure she's having a technical glitch. Billy, you can hear the reinforcement of the message around low impact exercises. So Venetia, just a minute. I think earlier on in the first week of the program, we had someone come in and also address this issue around low impact exercises. And I think I'm beginning to see the sense in this now. So you could be going through pain, all right? We're saying that don't exert too much energy, because then you're only aggravating the pain, because there's like a sore. But don't hide under the fact that you have pain. You can undertake what she has described now as the low impact exercises. So reduce your high impact exercises and then replace it with low impact exercise. And one of those, which I think everybody on this call should at least embrace once every other week or twice every week, is to, go into a pool. And the understanding, the science behind it is that there you are not exerting too much energy, but yet you're having the even much more burning of calories, and then even a healthy configuration. Okay, so tell me, you've been in silent moments and all that. We've been talking about affirmations. We've been talking about silence moments, meditation, and even progressed on to visualization. And this week, we hope that we'll talk about mindfulness. Tell us how you also, apply some of these rituals to attaining peak performance, all right, as to your well-being.
right. So for me personally, I think solitude is a big, it's a big thing. And I try to wake up as early as possible, because that's when things are quiet. So for around the times of 5 to 6, taking some time to actually read over maybe some, to go over my goals for the day, my vision, to also reaffirm what I want to bring into the world. I have that on my phone. I have made a note in my phone where I have typed there, what do I want to bring into the world? How do I want to show up? When I read over that every morning, it reminds me every single day of how I want to step up and show up in the world. How do I want people to see me? What do I want them to feel? Interact with other business owners. Do I make them feel comfortable enough to, trust me with the work that they have mandated me with? Because that's a big element for me, trust. I always want to show up knowing that the people around me trust me, and that they find a sense of reliability that they are getting from what I put out. And for me to be in that calm, collected, and cool manner, I need to take time alone to fill myself and to remind myself of what I need to bring into the world. When I do that by reading and spending time with things that inspire me, it keeps me on track, so that when I am confronted now with a challenge, I can now reasonably react to whatever I'm faced with, rather than just be frantic or emotional about the challenges that come up. Because I know that sometimes things can get of people who maybe don't have that quiet time in the morning, who are not maybe well balanced in their specific journeys. So what happens is now they project whatever they're feeling, whether it's frustration, whether it's unhappiness, onto the people around them. And so it's very important for me specifically to kind of get up early, to take time to read over things that I enjoy, things that make me feel alive. And obviously that sets me up for the day ahead.
So what am I going to bring into the world today? What am I going to create? And if anybody has been following us, we talked around the 6 ways to think. And the last stage of thinking is creating. And you can only create by grinding information or what you've put in. So if you've put in junk, if you're feeding yourself constantly with negative news, if you're feeding yourself with terror, if you're feeding yourself with all on the most unlikely, you just find out that you are constantly now grinding that, and then that, like you said, using our own words, you begin to project what you have been grinding in your head, and that could literally affect the people around you. Whoa. I love the fact that this is so subtle, but it's so deep, in the sense that I'm already on this journey, on a journey of, beyond even having to have a spiritual transformation, beyond having to commit to emotional intelligence. I'm also saying, hey, can I also have my well-being, the entirety of myself in check, right? So that all of those elements, emotional, physical, financial, spiritual, and every other thing and social also, is integrated so that I can be fully, how would I say, whole, all right? Now, you've had challenges. Now, so let's just move away from the discussion around your challenges around the health, and I know you still face challenges here and there. Is it a mantra, or what's your method to overcoming challenges?
Right. So when it comes to challenges, I really see them as a blessing. It's an opportunity for me to solve a problem. It's all about approach. I think it's about the way you approach something. And my biggest reminder is, don't major in minor things. So if I feel like it's a minor thing, I'm not going to major in it. And I have obviously, like I said, when I start my day, there's 3 things that I look for. Is what I'm confronted with giving me energy? Is it giving me strength? Is it improving my vitality? If it's not in line with any of those other 3 things, challenge. If it's something that I can deal with right away, then the process behind me dealing with it is to obviously always do it in a reasonable manner. I believe in being rational. So not to drive things with emotion or get overly heated, but to make sure that when it comes to a problem that you're facing, you examine what the outcome is and try and find a solution for it. How can you be better? How can you deal with it better? And how can you obviously bring the science of achievement into this problem or challenge?
I hear you. Okay. It'll be nice to know, so that we just know we're not talking to ourselves. If you want to ask a question, can you raise up your hand, or just send in the chat, and let's get this going. And I believe that questioning, almost like we said it, is the heart of champions. We must question. Let's question. Any question, please? Questions, please. Okay, so while we wait for questions, let's move into this. Can you give us some tips as to visibility when it comes to being visible online? I know, yes, you have a knack for wellness, but can you begin to throw on so that people can also reinvent themselves online, and tell us?
Yes. So the biggest thing online is to actually make sure that you're providing value and identifying your target audience. The audience that you connect with mostly is something that you have to really define, because those are the people that obviously like what you produce, they appreciate your value, and obviously it will, if you have a business, it's going to increase your leads. So the most important thing when it comes to visibility online is, number 1, just having fun with it. You need to have some type of strategy behind it. And for lots of ad campaigns that we do run within the company, that is true to some extent. But if you're just starting off and you're trying to reinvent your social media presence, one of the best ways is to really just be creative, have fun with it, and push what your message is out into the world. There's one very important message that we usually just reinforce, and that is that, in general, you don't die when the physical body disappears, but it's when you don't leave a message behind for the next generation. And your online profiles and your online presence is a new generational way to leave your message, to leave your legacy behind, to tell people what you want them to know, to pass on a message that will survive you. So my biggest tips is to really, number one, have fun with it, produce content that makes you happy. And number three, connect with people that is relevant to your industry. Connect with them, try and build a network, because like they say, your network is your net worth.
Absolutely. So there you got those three tips to being visible online. And because Venetia is a social media guru, all right? And she has clients all over Europe and in Africa. Now, if you also have questions along those lines in terms of how you can be creatively visible online, you could also come up with those questions. She currently focuses on wellness online. So, like you said, you also must have a target audience. But there's something you said that really struck me, and I think sometimes we hide in mediocrity, or we hide under the guise that we don't want to be public, okay? But you said something that is very salient. You said that. So I remember back in the day. So let's look at the days they had scrolls, okay? So back in those days, the scrolls were the things they left down for us to review, all right? Those parchments were the things that they left behind. So we've moved from scrolls, we now got into books, okay? And now we had all variations of books, right? An encyclopedia, Britannia U, and all of that. And then some stories as to this is what has happened. But when I hear you, and somehow it just struck into my head, is that in this new world order, one of the key ways to preserve our legacy, and if you think it's necessary, is that we also must show up. And how do we show up? We must be able to use the relevant tools of this age, because that is what will be will move on, transit to the next generation to come for my own faith if Jesus tarries. So guys, I want to believe that you are learning something. So you can't be silent. You can't be winking in the dark, saying that, no, I don't want to be. And I'm telling you, we're shaking some tables here. You don't wake up and say, no, I just like to be. So why you just want to be private? Go ahead, keep being private. All right. What we're saying is, we're not saying go online and just be making noise, but we're saying be deliberate and intentional. And I need you to work this out. All right, Venetia, kindly just take this through. How, like me now, assuming I don't have any way to come online, if I want to start, what are your suggestions as to how I can reinvent my page? If I've been doing junk on my page, how can I reinvent my page? How can I reinvent my, myself online?
So I think the first thing is to understand what your goal is. So who are you trying to reach? What are you trying to say? What is your message? Are you trying to sell something? Are you trying to gain a reputation online? Are you just trying to tell a story about your life? Or are you just trying to create? Are you looking for a hobby to just be yourself and to use social media to create and showcase who you are? There's so many different reasons, but whatever your reason is, if you currently don't have any form of social media right now, or if you have been posting just complete different types of things, it's number one is to get your message clear. What is it that you want to show the world? It's just like with waking up every single morning. When you wake up and you go out there into the world, you are sending a signal out to them. If you're slouched, you're telling them, you know, you're not having a good day, you're depressed, you're not media profile is your new CV. It's your new curriculum vitae, even for jobs, even for getting employment. And this is going to be increasing in the next 5 to 10 years. People, and surprisingly, I've worked with lots of HR departments. Nowadays, when they are recruiting people onto their teams, one of the first things they do is double check and verify your social media profiles. So if you want to show up as someone respectable in your field, start speaking like an expert. Start showing up as an expert in your field. Post about things that you are learning. Post about, if, for example, if you are a lawyer, start posting about the things that you're learning. How are you going about your learning journey? What does your day look like? And these things can be applied to even a business owner. It can be applied to any industry. The most important thing is you are thinking of showcasing yourself to the world, you want to show up in a manner that is going to promote yourself in the best way possible. So when it comes to reinventing your social media profiles, make sure you have a great picture. Make sure you're behind every post, there is thought and effort going into your captions. There's an underlying message. Doesn't always have to be like that. It can be fun as well. But make sure that you're thinking about it a little bit, because like I said, whatever you put out into the world is what's going to come back to you. 100% of my clients, so many of them I haven't even met, but they stick with us because of what they see online. They see that there's reliability. They see that there's an active presence. They see that there's trustworthiness, and that's why they stay.
Good. And this aligns, you know, somehow when we talk about the things that we're talking around, we're actually also delving into what we call principles. So even while she talked about the wellness bit, she was hinging it on certain principles. Whilst we started to talk about visibility online, we are also hinging it on principles, all right? And one that immediately comes to mind is your CFI quotient. And everybody that's been on this course for this long already knows what that is. You know, you must be consistent. You must be frequent, and then you also must be intense. And your intensity increases just so that your impact, all right, also increases. And if you hear her, you're saying that people will only take you serious when they start to see the effort you put into whatever you do. So you can't just be Sunday today, Friday next year, Tuesday. You know, there should be, you know, you must be intentional. You know, lack of a better word. You must be intentional about your approach. It will require work, okay? And that's why a lot of people are doing some of these things. This is your right. So guys, I have her here, please. I need you to ask her questions and then we'll tie it up shortly. It's amazing how we've almost just expended about an hour and I'm like, what, we're just starting. So do you guys want me to call you out? All right, any questions? Okay, great.
I have a question here.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so let's take Franklin, then Oradite, yeah.
All right, so you said, okay, first, I thank you so much for all of the insights you've shared. I really thank you for this. Thank you. So you said something, you said we should not major in minor things, right? So can you kind of give me more of like a scenario where it's like you're majoring in a minor thing or something like that? Like I'm trying to understand that and I can't seem to place my head around that word. So kindly help me sort it out. Thank you.
Can I go ahead with my
Can
question?
I go ahead?
No, so let her respond to that, and then Odite will take your question. All right, is that fine? Anisha, you want
Yes,
to?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, sure. So when I talk about not majoring in minor things, I simply mean that sometimes during your day, there might be like a complaint that you're dealing with. So a complaint from maybe a client, a customer, a friend, a spouse, or whatever that small issue is. Sometimes we can get frustrated and let things affect our mood, or we can let the external emotions of other people affect the way that we function throughout our day. So for example, if someone is just complaining all the time, they're just being ungrateful, they're not into other areas of their life. And so when it comes to protecting yourself and not majoring in minor things, I mean that choose to live in a beautiful state today. Choose to be grateful for every little thing, even the challenges, because the truth is that even the challenges and difficult situations have something to teach us, but it's all about our attitude towards it. So if we can make sure that we are grateful and we don't make a big deal about things that are actually really small when it comes to the universe as a whole, then we can really start living lives that are fulfilled and start living our life in a way that, creates peace, happiness. So when I talk about minor things, it's really just complaining. It's not being grateful. It's not seeing the best in what life has to offer every single day.
Well, so
Yeah,
I
thank
think
you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I get it.
great,
Thank you.
great. And just to add something to that, remember, once you're starting your day, you have your priorities. Okay, so majoring on the major would also mean that you are majoring on your priorities. So when, like she said, the example of there's a troubling moment, an emotional outburst here and there, you shouldn't let that deter you from your set goal. So like I gave an example today on how I was embarking on a journey. And guess what? It started to rain. And I didn't allow that. I had a mission to fulfill, notwithstanding the fact that I had my leather pouch, I had all of that. I had to still go and chase what I needed to chase, for the day. Okay, I hope that answers that. Ora did say you wanted to speak. Next will be Yame. So, but Ora did say, can you go ahead and ask your question?
Okay, thank you so much for the guests. We're really learning a lot of things and we are very grateful for that. I wanted to understand, if you have a business, can you separate is it ideal to separate your business account from, like Facebook, to separate your business account from your personal account? Or you should just have one account and mix them like that?
Okay, so my best advice is to always have a personal account and a business account. So you can have a business group, which is specifically for your clients, or you can have a Facebook business page, which is specifically also for the people that are coming to your business. It's never great to combine the two because you want to keep your personal space just for your close friends and for people that are important to you. And you want to keep your business information strictly on your business page, so that it just becomes a lot easier, even if you had to scale in the future. You wouldn't want to mix the two.
Okay. Did you get that? So she talked about having the end in mind. Okay. So about the future, if you want to scale, and if you want to scale, then you start operating as a conglomerate, almost like your business also. You start to picture your business as a big network rather than you yourself and and I.
Thank you so much.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
great. Yame. Okay, Yame is up.
Thank you so much, Ms. Reddy. That was a very good presentation. Good evening, everyone. Mine is okay for the first part of your presentation. I've actually joined a lose 10 kg challenge, so I'll also use that to start engaging on the thing that you do, especially because I have a problem with waking up early. I have never been an early person. I sleep very late after 1 a.m. and I can work until in the morning, but waking up has been very difficult. So I'm gonna try to discipline myself based on what you said. But I have a question on a second option. I know there's so many social media platforms around the world, and just because you're in Africa, you are in South Africa, and I'm in Botswana. According to experience, which one of the social media is very good for business? I know it may differ depending on whatever your country is using mostly, but what about a business that is interested in the whole Africa? Which one of the social media platform would you think it would be good for business, and probably why would you think so? Because we're currently struggling to choose in between. I know we can have many, but we want to have that one that is very impactful and can drive a lot of people to your business. Thank you.
Sorry, I just have one question. What kind of industry is it? Because it is very industry dependent.
Oh, okay. It's a consultancy on leadership and women in sports and advocacy skills and all that. Yeah.
Okay, so in this type of industry, I would actually suggest going with 3 platforms. That would be Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. LinkedIn is specifically for connecting with your clients. You can actually gain a lot of income, and you can actually connect with very great professionals on LinkedIn, especially in the consulting industry, and people who need that type of service. I would recommend Facebook because Facebook is a great way for you to run ads and get more exposure for your business. And I would also recommend that you start with Instagram because Instagram is going to give you more of a creative edge. You can obviously show the journey, the process on Instagram, but also you can run ads on Instagram as well. And that can also generate lots of generation traffic to your website if you have one. And so those 3 platforms are really important in this specific industry. And I would definitely try and be as consistent as possible on all 3. Facebook, I would recommend you specifically running ads on Facebook. But Instagram, you have complete creative freedom. LinkedIn is specifically for using the messaging tool, but also providing your network with consulting tips or different things from your industry that are relevant.
Oh, super great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Ruru, you want to ask a question? Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, so quick one. How possible is it for me to convert my social media followers into my customers?
Okay, so this can really depend on also the industry. Do you mind me asking what industry you're in?
Fashion industry.
Okay. Great videos, and depending on the size of your business, you can also use Facebook. Facebook has a shop, like almost like its own e-commerce shop. And I'm not sure if you're in your area, it's very viable, but you can start selling your fashion items on that Facebook marketplace, which is a great income generator. The truth be told, I've worked with fashion brands that have placed their brands in a very strategic and professional way on the marketplace, and they've sold within a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even a month, depending on, you can get multiple requests. You're going to have to find a way to actually manage those requests. But with Instagram, it's a little bit more manageable. And you can obviously generate these people as clients that are your followers. Or it all depends on the strategy that you use. Use emotions. Use emotions to target your followers. How do you want them to feel? Do you want them to feel beautiful? Do you want them to feel handsome? And does your fashion brand make them feel that way? If it doesn't make them feel that way right now, try and develop your brand or your fashion brand in a way that will get them to convert. But that's purely strategy based. And obviously, if you need my help with that, you're welcome to email me in terms of different strategies and with your website or what you have right now, so I can advise further.
That's what we're getting to. We've shared contacts, particularly our Instagram handle, and I'm sure Venetia will be more than able and willing
You're welcome.
to
Thank
give you
you so
support.
much. I will contact you. Thank you.
Great. So we'll take 2 more questions and then we'll begin to wrap up. So any questions? Who have I not heard today? Who has not spoken today? Don't let me call you out. All right. Any questions? Okay. So I know people are not shy. So is it that you don't have any questions to ask? Okay. Since everyone is keeping mute, so can we have your feedback as to the...
Can I have just one follow-up since people are not talking?
Okay.
I wanted to give others chance. Yes, I just want to know just briefly if YouTube is also a income generating platform that can be used, and if that is correct, how? Because I've heard that, but I've never got to understand how it can be used to gain income. Thanks.
Yes, so YouTube does generate income. However, it works on a number basis. So the 2 things that you would need to do is you would need to get your out is largely determined on the numbers of subscribers and the views that you get on each video. So the 2 goals when it comes to creating a video is obviously making sure people subscribe to your channel, hit the like button, and also view your video when it comes out. But you're going to need 10,000, even 1 million views in order to make like between $500, $800, $10,000. It really depends on how many views you're getting. And that is based on a strategic YouTube form that will obviously dictate whether you get paid out and how much you get paid out. There's a specific payment and payout system. And that obviously comes out after you have monetized your channel. Certain channels qualify, certain channels don't. So you'll also have to start earning, but it's quite a simple process. And if you choose to do it, your 2 goals would be to get your subscribers up and to get your views up.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Just to also add to what she said, you know, you could get overwhelmed and say, oh, she mentioned 10,000 or so number. But the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. So if you intend to, you know, start to cash out on that, you better just start now. All right? Because somehow and someday, okay, it might just start to blow up. And there's no crime, you know, in starting small. All right? There's no crime in starting small. I'm going to also please follow us. Yes, so follow us on Taiwa Depojo on YouTube. You know, I think I have only I have 35 subscribers. I feel so proud. So proud. And I know that journey has started. So please take time out.
And follow me too.
Yeah, no, definitely now. No, it's subscribe. So you have to also know the language and be right. So subscribe, and then I subscribe, you know, and let's get this going. Okay, guys. Venetia, can we have comments from everyone as to what they've learned or how they feel about today's presentation? I need, now, I'm not asking you to ask questions. I'm just saying, express your gratitude to our guest speaker. So please unmute and say something, all right?
Hello.
Oratile, yeah. Welcome, Oratile.
Yeah, that I haven't said anything. Thank you so much, Miss Reedy. I hope I'm getting the last name right. The presenter?
Yeah, Venetia.
Yes, thank you so much. It was very insightful. I've learned a lot. I've learned to be intentional in every single thing that I do, to put effort in whatever that I do, and also to look at challenges in a different way. And I've also learned a lot about branding, personal branding and business branding. And I'll obviously make a follow-up via email. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, more. I need more people to speak now, and we're rounding off in the next 5 minutes. Okay, so contributions, thank you, appreciation. Just on mute.
I'm here. Thank
All
you so
right.
much, Venetia, for the presentation. It was so amazing and very interactive. I will personally make a follow because I'm very much interested in the branding. I'm into network marketing, so I need to get the right skills to get me more people into my team. So I'll obviously follow you up on via email. Thank you so much and stay blessed.
Amazing. Thank you.
Okay. More. Oh, okay, Omar, we have to say something though, because you need to even say something. You need to say something. I don't know where you are, but you have to say something.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much. Thank you. Such an insightful and informative session. I mean, what my take home really is the fact that I create the perception and the image of myself, the brand of myself that I want people to see. So, for example, when you spoke about, I paint my own picture, and it's the picture that I paint. This is me just sort of paraphrasing. This is the picture I paint that, people will see out there, particularly, I guess, in the job space or in the professional sector. So that is my take home. So for me, I'm challenged to use my LinkedIn better, my Instagram account better, Facebook better, and, yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Great. Olukade, I've not heard your voice. Samuel, Solomon, Melebo, and I even have my sister here, Ngozi. This is the first time she's joining in. So let's hear what have you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
evening, Vanessa. Thank you for the presentation tonight. I'm really not a social media person, but I've been kind of inspired. I will try and I'll follow you. Then I think I would need training and motivation. I am honestly not social media compliant. God will help me.
You will help yourself.
Encouraging myself. I will help myself. Okay, I will help myself.
God has created them to create those things. All right. Okay. So Ngozi, it would be nice to hear from you. Ngozi, yeah, thank you, Madam Olukade. Ngozi, Sister Toyin, I want to hear your voice. Sister Toyin is not saying anything.
Yes, I'm here. I had sent because of my network is very bad. I had sent something on the chat, but thank you very much for this inspiring insight, and it has really motivated me, and also with the insight on the how the branding, personal branding, and even for what I'm trying to do in sharing my skills with through my company. So I think this has helped me a lot. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. So Faintoluwa, I've not heard your voice today. So we leave in 2 minutes. The power just went out at my end, but we are live now. Lady Faintoluwa. Okay. Okay. Samuel. All right. Okay. Well, anyway, I'd like to say thank you so much, Venetia. Thank you for coming in to share some of those personal experiences you've had, particularly around your health, and how you were able to morph, okay, from a point where you were challenged, physically, and then you got yourself and your life back, and you're looking so beautiful and boisterous, and fulfilling all that all that God has released unto you. I'm just reading Ngozi Olukare's comment. She says she's shy. Okay, we don't, and that's one word we don't use here, but we'll allow you to just go under the radar today. We don't use the word shy because we believe that there's no need to be shy, and that this is family. Aramide, are you going to say something? Aramide, she's your client. Say something. Aramide has to say something. Kende, say something. Yeah, you guys must say something. All right?
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hi, V. I'm challenged about tonight, challenged about my health. You have just challenged me concerning my health. You speaking about how you came round with your health issues has gingered me to know that I have a lot to work on regarding my health. Right now, I'm doing a lot, and I feel not keeping track, exercising, balancing my intake. At some point, we'll start telling. It has already started telling. So I think I need to work more on my health, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity. You have, like Taiwo said, we're going on the 20 on a 1 month health program. Let's see if I can even now get down this 10 kg that I've been praying to God and fasting over for years. Let's see if I can run with it now and just get it done with, and let's see how it goes from here. Thank you, V. I'm so grateful, and thank you, Oracle.
Thank you.
Great. That's Mrs. Adikpoju. All right, that's my wife. So it's good that you're speaking to all of us, and so I hope that she's also going to join me fully. We'll hold her accountable. Because someone has said that I should have her portion my food small. So it's just going to be a joint collaboration, all right, responsibility. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Venetia. Constantly, you are just a door away from me wherever, and I'm a door away from you wherever you want to reach me. I'm sure that this is a beginning of great things for the community, and I'm sure that a lot of people will be getting in touch with you. Please just be gentle, when it comes to pricing. But I won't stop you from trying to get what you need to get done. But please be guided. We're a community, and we like to run as a family. So we like you to be, very, reasonable with and then any advice you can also give for free. Please don't hesitate. And I'm sure that a lot of people will be in touch with you. So thank you so much. We definitely cannot even have paid for this session. We couldn't have been able to pay for this session. We couldn't have been able to pay for your time. But somehow I know that you've released a lot. Some of these things will drop in. We all have our own, how would I say, we have our own expressions per time. There are a couple of things you dropped out. That's why I said it's a bit subtle, but it's so strong and deep that I'm also going to go and reflect on. One of the things, my own takeaway, which I've also started to go on in this 3rd week, is the issue around pettiness. Pettiness. And it revolves around minor things. So I've committed to not giving my energy to anything that will not advance my cause, no matter what, at every level. And that's the journey I'm going on. So I'd like to say thank you so much. And everyone, you can unmute her and just tell her we love her, we love you, you're good. Just unmute so that
we love you. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
this
V.
session.
Thank you,
Thank
Vicky. Thank you,
Stay
Taiwo.
blessed.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Taiwo.
Thank you,
Bye.
Thank you. All right. And this week, we're rounding up We're rounding up this week, but I can tell you, you asked for a personal finance lady. She's coming on Wednesday. We're coming in with a career guardian and even an academician coming on Thursday. On Friday, we're bringing in, I don't even know, is it Felix Achibiri that we're bringing in now?
We need 2 more weeks, Oracle.
No, don't worry.
Yes,
We'll talk about that. So, guys, just brace up. And this is the last lap. Get all you can, but don't sit on the car. Just keep sharing and let the love flow. I love you all. Commit yourself to the elements. See you tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. West African time. For those that are in South Africa, that's 7 a.m. For those that are in Ghana, that's 5 a.m. And we have a couple of people joining us from the US and the UK, just Europe, right? Just feel free and log in and let's have a swell time. All right, not to take any of your time beyond, go and rest, take your journals, be grateful. Identify 3 things you are grateful for. 3 things you are grateful for. Identify it, possibly drop it in the group, and let's keep engaging and get ready for the 40-day challenge to lose 10 kg. All right, it starts on the 20th of May. If you have not signed up, the link has been dropped, or you can go into the link in my bio, and then reach out to Venetia. She's going to help you, personally as to around your social media visibility or even your strategy. She knows a lot about social media strategy. So reach out to her, and I can tell you, you will not be making a mistake. On this note, I'd like to say, have a blessed evening.